Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial. So today I'm going to speak about poking game. So poking of course is a very important part of the game that must be used wisely. In a low level game it can be effective in the sense that your opponent will probably try to land immediately combos and will not respect frames most of the times and mash buttons. So in this case, poking will stop and often annoy your opponent from doing many things. So this can be applied to low level to mid. So because you're of course faster in terms of frames. But what are the moves that can be related to poking game? So this varies from character to character. In my opinion, the best character that represents the idea of poking is, of course, Kazumi. And if you have watched Evo Finals, Arsalan versus Ni, you can see that most of the time it's just Kazumi's poking game. So it's like 1-1-1, down forward 1, back 2, and you can bait for a magic 4, and of course the lows. So down back 4, down 4. So these moves are really important because even if you think that it's just not that damage, if you do them correctly, you can just win the game with this and without any big move. So this is very important. Even if we have to take into account that Kazumi has been nerfed in terms of some frames. For example, 1-1 is now not the same. Let me try. I don't want to record, so I just want to think -3 on block, and before it was -1. So this can tell you, this can already tell you the great importance that poking moves have in the game. So if you think that this was just -1 and now it's -3, it makes you think a bit about this. So for example, poking is related to something, the mind game. For example, Kazumi does down forward 1. The opponent is waiting for the second hit, which can be delayed as well, as you can see. But since your opponent doesn't do anything most of the times, especially at the wall, you can do another down forward 1. So it can be really annoying because your opponent doesn't do anything. You can just repeat, or you can do down forward 1 and then 4, for example. So you have to think about this, of course, related to all characters. So you must find the key to have a setup of poking moves, and if it's really effective, it can be really effective anyway. So let me go to another thing. Things will be more complicated if all the poking moves are mixed up. So the key to poking game is just to mix it up, mix all the moves, and it would be annoying for your opponent because your opponent has no point of reference. So if you use many moves, he or she cannot focus on particular moves, so you switch from a move to another. Another thing is the dig jab, which can be very particular, and I will try to show you with Leo. Of course, if your character has got down one naturally as a poking move, it's okay. But if it's Leo, for example, it's down one is another move. So to have a poking game with to have the dig jab, you have to do down back one. So you go for this. In this case, for example, down back two is another move. It's another move. Down two. So to do a dig jab with the two, in this case, you have to be already crouched. So you have to find it out with your opponent. Let's see. So this is minus down back one, -5 on block. The second one is -4, but if you see the advantage, down back one +6, down back full crouch and 2 is +7. So for example, if I try to pick Julia, yesterday I played in a tournament and did it. So just this I'm showing you, I did down 2. So this sequence I can interrupt with the dig jab, and I have to be very fast anyway and precise. If I do something slower than this, oh, I can do 1, $11 frames straight. So if I'm a bit slower than 10 frames, so 10 frames, it's the way to interrupt that. It's just big counter it while sending 2 confirmable, so it's not good. Yesterday I did it in tournament and someone replied after the dig jab on hit. So the trick is that the thing is that you have to see if your dig jab has hit or not, and consequently do something or not, because it's completely different. If you do, for example, down 2 and then while standing 1, I cannot do 1, I cannot do anything. Now the dig jab, can I sidestep? I cannot sidestep. I try to the right. No. Can I backdash? No. So you see that your advantage, also you can try it with the other characters. It's something that can bring you to other moves. And if you find that your opponent is trying to answer and to press buttons again after your advantage, it can lead to juggles. So according to the potential of your opponent, so you know that he's good or she's good, and you can do something like this. Dig jab, anyway, it's risky because especially if you do after setups, because it's something that is low. Oh, this is very short, so I cannot low parry it, but down to, I think, yes. Or you can you can crush it. So watch out, and if you see that your opponent knows how to deal with it, watch out. So in that case you have to be more defensive and try to bait for something something better than dig jab. Another way to use poking game is that you can bait your opponent with generic down forward 1, which is 13 frames. This is related to many characters, not all characters. For example, you have down forward 1, sidestep, and then a hop kick. It's just an example. Let me try. It's faster. Maybe if I'm faster, I can do it better. So 1 is a way to answer back after this down forward 1. It's like we call it a test, like a check. You just 1, which is useful also versus some power crushes, because you can have a very good recovery. So if they power crush after something that is -4, for example, you just press 1 to check, and you will not be hit by the power crush. They will be hit by your 1, and then you have an advantage after, which is +8. So this is another thing, but it's it can be useful. So let me try again. I'll try to answer. I can interrupt with a dig jab, but it's risky anyway. So poking game can be just baiting with something which is minus, some moves which are minus, in this case -1, and of course if you see Katarina's down for 1 should be the same, -2. So it's just a bait. So don't be hurry when she does down forward 1, because it's all related to baiting you into something, and then she can sidestep. She can do even something like 4 which will be 13 frames, because she's -2 after down forward 1, and then 4 is 11 frames, so it's 13 frames. So if you are slower, it's like I'm pressing down forward 1. So this is 12 frames. So that's okay in this case. Another thing can be, this is even, of course this is this can be used for all characters. It's just down forward 1 and then backdash. So you have something which is baiting your opponent into doing something, and if the answer is not correct in this it's short, you can do backdash and then launcher. Let me try. So this is related to distance. if I press 1, so this is because Leo has got good range, and in this case we don't have that much range to have a big backdash, but there are some cases which can be incredibly powerful, like let me try. It depends on the character, so you have to check if you are far or not. There are some particular moves those are really effective, but there are some mids as well, so you just have to find them. I'll show you an example. So this means that if your opponent answers to some particular moves, can be really dangerous. This is a move I don't like that much, but let me try. Let me try. So I've just been a bit slower because I don't know the reaction. So it's like this. So you have to be careful and see if that move is has hit you close. So if your opponent is close to you, or there's some distance. There are some particular moves. This is a bit slow, so back 3 of Julia is a bit you know, reactable, but there are some moves which are incredibly powerful. Just a couple of examples, like Claudius, let me see. Oh, this is good for Leo. No, let me try if it's that one. No, it's not the one. Or maybe because I was using Julia, so... Okay, so down 3, down 3. So this is just to say that if your opponent knocks you down, you check roll, and they get the right distance, you can be dead because you just react to those low kicks, which can be poking, but can lead to serious damage. Another example, I can there are many, but you have to find it with your opponent. So let me try to Shaheen. Let me try. So it's the same. This means you have to be really careful with some characters, and poking game can be also like this. So in general, it can be really useful, and it's I think it's essential because if you just go for the big moves, so you just have to build your strategy with the poking game, and then as soon as you find the key to get the time to do the big moves, in case they are really useful, you can go for them, but it's only when it's time to do them. So first poking game and then big moves. Last two things. You know that I'm sure that many of you know that poking game can be also the generic low kicks to go to the crouched position, so you can do the full crouch. See, so if I react with I'm reacting with down forward 1, which is mid, and she's still crouching, she's still crushing my mid. You can see. So this is really powerful because she can crush highs and mids in this case. Let me try another thing. Only down forward 2, so who can imagine that after a low kick I press down forward 2 like this? Let me try the hop kick. Okay, that's crushing, but it's just an unusual reaction. So I wouldn't do that easily. So Katarina, or for example Kunimitsu with a low kick into, you know, the full crouch, the down forward 3, which is dangerous even if it's unsafe, you know. And last thing, I try to do this. I don't know if I'm able to do it easily, but another thing is poking game, which leads you to doing something. So this is 0, and then you do something with a Y running 2. So you have a low moves that bring you to take you to do lead you to do something like Y running, especially when with the counter it. In this case it's this and then Y running, which can be really powerful. So it's all a matter of frames, but down 2 of Dragunov is very strong because, you know, you have to be careful, and in this case with the season 4, when you are hit by down 2, you are crouched. So if I press 4, it's a Y standing 4 into a trade. I must try sidestep left. So the question is, what about if Dragunov is I cannot sidestep it on the right. So this means that the camera is important and the side is important. If you are on player 2, you cannot sidestep it. So Dragunov players will try to be on the left. You know, if you're crouched here and down 2 leads you to a crouch position after hitting you, you cannot sidestep to the right. You cannot do it. I cannot sidestep to the right. I can only sidestep to the left. The opposite. I can only sidestep to the right here. But you cannot sidestep while standing 4. So that's why dragging up players tend to be on P1. This happens to some kind of moves, and you have to know it. So a good thing could be sending your opponent to the other side, which can be better for you. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and see you soon for another tutorial. Thank you so much for following me.